What is going on, everyone? Tinman here, and welcome to a short Elder Scrolls Online video where I introduce you to my tanking point of view at the Imperial City Prison. It's can be a rough dungeon. It's a good dungeon for gear, especially a tanking gear. I'm actually seeking out that's called the Leeching Plate. And this gear for a tank, it basically puts a pool of poison in front of the tank, and it basically leeches the health. So whatever damage I'm doing to the mobs or the group of mobs, I get back in health. So it's a great piece of gear for like large trash pulls and stuff. It's hard to die, you just keep healing yourself. So I'm farming this. It's been a while since I played the ESO and getting back into it. I love the tanking, always loved the tanking. So now I'm basically starting from scratch, and this is one of the places. I just got done farming the other gear. It's the Ebon Armory. It's basically a gear that gives you 1,000 point buff for your group and yourself, and that was fun. So now we're at the Imperial City Prison, and we're going to do one episode here of farming for the Leeching Plate. And so trash pulls aren't too bad here. You got to watch out for the bosses. There's a lot of cleave damage, a lot of poison in here, and you just got to mind your feet. Don't stand it stupid, and you're going to be okay. So this is a 4-man dungeon. We're going to do it in 2. It is normal. It is not vet. And one day I'll do a video. So we're up on our first trash pull here. Really the goal for any tank is all the, heavy hitters, two-handers, melee. Just keep them grouped up. Your casters are going to try to stay off, out of range. You're going to try to chain them in best you can. But your goal as a tank, and what I try to do here, and you'll see me fail in some areas, is to kind of get, there's our first chest, kind of get your group. You want to group up the mobs so that your team can put down some AoEs, and the more still you keep the mobs, the quicker the burn down. So that's always a goal for a tank. Turn the mobs, the big mobs, away from the group and try to chain in what you can. And it's resource intensive. You'll see I'll kind of get low, and we're here exchanging some gear. So this is going to be a really open, fun kind of video. It's I'm not going to cut anything out. We do have fun. We're relaxed in here because it's just us two, and we're just farming. We'll open up bookshelves and trade gear and whatnot. So you'll just see us kind of run through here, kill a few mobs. We're slowly making our way towards the first boss, and once we get there, I'll kind of give you a little bit more detail on them. So we should see a few more trash mobs. It looks like we run through here and we just check all the sales because randomly you can get a chest or a heavy sack. So that, yeah. So go in there, and especially your first time. It's the first time in there in a while. So there's quests in each one of these dungeons where you do quests and you pick up things. So it's a good thing to just really seek it out. Here's another trash pull. You can see the caster sitting in the back, and I try to get that caster in here. I really try to chain them in and kind of keep them together, and just keep taunt. On the right hand side, I have an add-on. It's called Untaunted. It's huge for a tank. It lets you know that, obviously that one got away, but she has got really good DPS. She's playing a Blood Warden build, bleed damage, and it's amazing. And in here, that's the first boss there. That's the Overfiend. And this guy here, definitely, you got to keep him turned away from your group. He's got a really nasty, kind of a flurry AoE, kind of a cleave damage, but it's more frontal. So your goal is to keep that one away from the group. So the tank should be toe-to-toe with that one each time. And so you don't want to let him run loose. And the other thing is, at around 50%, and I'll show you here, a mob will spawn for this boss, and it's like a serpent, and they call it, I think it's, the name of it is it's Harvester. So I got to keep the taunt on this thing. He will spawn ads, and that nasty AoE ring around him is horrible. I try to chain in best I can. Again, I'm not an ace tank, but I love it and it's fun. But when this mob gets about 50%, you'll see over by that portal, there's going to be a Harvester. It's like a snake lady. she's going to spawn, and you tank need to immediately grab that aggro because she could one-shot the group. So I try to grab that, see her, boom, get aggro on her. Just need to come. That's weird, my aggro didn't stick. I just noticed that too. So that's the first thing. So there's a kind of a fail. It took me a little while to get aggro. I should have immediately done a range taunt. So there you go. Learn not what to do, what not to do there. So there we go. And then once you just in the fight, slow and steady. It's not a tough fight, but just kind of don't step in stupid and tank. I need to do a little better job at keeping the taunt. So then we're doing drops for trading some gear. I'm really wanting to get the jewelry, the weapons, the shield, the frost staff, because I already got the body pieces for the ebon, but we're getting a lot of the body pieces for the leeching plate. So I'll take them. Could always mix it with another set, but it is a good set to have for a tank. So I encourage you, if you do not have the leeching plate, definitely, and we found a chest, definitely give it a try. It is fun. It's really good. I use that in some of the big trials, like Ethereum Archive and whatnot, where you have like a bunch of trash pulls. You have like 50 mobs on you, and you just could stand there and just take a beating, and your health does not go down. You just stay full health. It's incredible. Anyways, so enough of that. But this is what we're here doing. We're farming this dungeon. This is a dungeon that's in Cyrodiil, which is basically a PvP area, but this dungeon is part of the Undaunted. You can do the pledges and stuff. It comes out, weekly. They do pledges, and this is one of them. So more trash pulls, just trying to get my bearing as a tank, but I do my best because it's just us to try to kind of keep them grouped for the most part. I'm getting it down there. You got to really mind your resources though, because that chain pulling and taunting and all that kind of stuff can eat up your magicka, and blocking, stamina is used up, and you don't recharge your stamina while you're blocking, so you got to do some heavy attacks, and it's just the mechanics, but a fun class to play. I play a Dragonite Nord, and love the tanking. We're stealing some pork here. Yeah, when we hang out together, we look at everything. We don't just, it's not a speed run for us. It's just if we have like some people we don't know, random groups, we'll do the dungeon. I want to respect everybody else's time, but here we just have a good time. Sometimes we die. It just happens. That's how we learn. We learn together, and so really enjoying getting back into Elder Scrolls Online. Been away for a couple years. Been back for about a month, and got my tank up, started fresh from scratch. So that's what we're doing. We're farming gear, having a good old time. So this is part of the quest. We didn't have to do this. You release the prisoners, and they go running, and they, go hide, and they know there's big boys we got to deal with. So there's a heavy sack there. Just look around. You get some free resource materials and whatnot. So here we go. We push on through, and we'll soon be heading to the second boss. And this guy's basically the Abomination, the flesh sculptor, and he's coming up. There's a few more trash mobs we got to deal with here. And these guys hit pretty hard if you drop your block. They can take you down pretty quickly. I've been one-shotted before, so I definitely try to block, try to keep it in, and try to keep them all in a tight group so that they can put down some AoE and just kind of melt them. So we're gonna hobble through here. This is a fun dungeon too. It's really cool. The design is really neat. A lot of poison in here, so you'll see one of the fights coming up. We're gonna see a harvester up ahead, and this is the kind of just basic trash in here. There's not much. We had a couple AFKs, phone calls and whatnot. We're casual, but I just really wanted to show you guys this dungeon and just enjoying the tanking. And this is a good place. Like I said, go get your gear. If you're a tank thinking about tanking, come farm this. It's definitely worth it. This is one, tanks have so many different gear options, and you got to mix and match depending on your group makeup and the fight. And if you're fighting, in Sunspire Dragons, you want to have some other gear to, give you a little, if you're a main tank versus an off tank, your gear will change, your setups and your skills. So I'm just got the basic set right now. There's a harvester ahead. I think we had to do a quick AFK here. Not a problem. I'm not cutting a lot of stuff out of the video, so you definitely have a little bit of downtime here, so you can skip through if you want, but I'm just giving you a show and tell as we did it. And so we'll come in this next room here. It's one harvester, and I think that's it, and then we'll drop down and head towards the next boss. Pretty straightforward. And there I do a range taunt. So you see her got the taunt there. Just stay on it. Just keep her there, keep her attention. They burn it down. Boom. Easy peasy. And that's, we just look around. We just drop down. We head towards more trash before the next boss. Very cool. Kind of little sewer setup. Bunch of trash in here, like rats will come after me here. You get those. You get that ASROCK. That's kind of setting the stage for an upcoming boss fight. See what this guy does here. They hit hard. They hit really hard. So you really got to be blocking because they can one-shot you. In this next boss fight, you'll see them appear. So it's kind of cool how they set it up where they give you kind of like a heads up, like, hey, here's this boss, there's mob, and they incorporate into the boss fight, so you get kind of used to mechanics and whatnot. And here's where we step into the next boss, which is going to be the we'll go around the corner, and it'll be the Abomination, the flesh sculptor. And that boss is interesting. Now you got to worry about these two, these eyes. What they do is they do like an AoE and they spawn mobs. They create like a portal, and then right here you'll see a portal, and all of a sudden mobs will spawn. So they just create a portal and they'll have like 3 or 4 mob spawns. So it's the tank's job to get that. I didn't catch it right away. I was like, what is going on there? So these guys spawn mobs. So just because you think you got the eyeball down, you still got 2 or 3 mobs to deal with. So don't turn your back like I did. I caught on quickly there. So we're going here to our next boss. This is the this is our flesh renderer here. So this one, basically the fight is relatively simple here. My goal was to keep the boss here close to the center and kind of still, so they can burn her down for a while until the mechanics start in. And what happens here is these inmates will start coming out of the gates up top, and they'll start walking down to this middle pool. If they get there, it spawns an ASROCK for those big old goofy looking heavy hitters we talked about earlier. So it's the team's job is to pick up these. They're basically little green like globs on the ground. They pick it up and they synergize them, and they do it in front of the inmates walking down, and it blows them up. You don't want the guys, see that spawn an ASROCK right there. It's because the inmates walk in there, they're able to get there. Now it's tough because there's only 2 of us, so she's really having to work hard. She's doing a great job, but see them coming in there, and every time they get enough in there, a certain amount, I think it's, I don't know, 7 or 8, will spawn an ASROCK there. Now it's my job as a tank to get that aggro, because that will one-shot your group. And since we only got 1 person in my group, got to do my best to keep the aggro right there. I say run away, I say, oh no, you come back here. I also got to keep on the boss, and then rinse repeat. And so these inmates keep coming down, so it kept her busy. She's got to run and have to get these globs, synergize them, try to kill the inmates as much as possible before they hit that pool. And yeah, Bob's your uncle. So keep those down, keep taunting the boss, keep some AoEs going, keep those ASROCKs close at bay. We don't want them running around because they, like I said, they'll take you out. So just stay on it. In the miracle time, you'll get down there and you'll finally beat this boss. The first time it got us, this was my first time doing this one in a long time. And so we struggled a little bit, but we figured it out. We knew with the mechanics, and see, she's a little crazy there. You just got to block, shield, and just make sure you hold taunt on there. You don't want the boss getting loose. So now I got 2 there, plus the boss. So I'm trying to do that. It's keeping me busy, doing a little dance toe to toe, but we're holding our own. Not bad for 2 people. It's a 4-man dungeon, so yeah, pretty impressed. I got 3 of those ASROCKs on. One just dropped. Now we're down to 2. And now it's getting close to burn the boss. I'm just going to keep aggro. If anything pops up there, I'll keep the aggro. And then she will just put her AoEs down there and just burn it. So she already is engaged and she's doing her burn. Getting the bear on there. The boss is immune at this point. If you see, and now we can start doing some DPS. See the DPS, see your health start dropping. It gets a little crazy there with those big attacks. See, I'm tenderizers. That's another thing. If you get to tenderize, and a random inmate can say, "Hey, I want to pick the tank," and they tenderize, and you have to have someone who needs to interrupt the boss before she does the full thing, or you're dead. So, do not forget to tenderize or to interrupt the boss. We were able to burn her down. Good DPS. So there we go. I didn't get a drop that I want, but I'm binding everything, so I won't get it again. It does help. And then we're off. And we'll be going through some more trash pulls. And it looks like she found another item for me in the scathing. Or that was sheer venom. So I already got that one. I think we're just talking like, do you have this? Do you have that? Because once you get a certain amount of items, then it stops like giving it to you on a regular basis. So it's good to bind things. When you hover over it with your mouse and it's green down below, it means you haven't had it in your collection. Just bind it and it'll add it, and it'll fill up that collection, and then you'll start getting other drops. These mobs you don't have to engage, you can get past them. And back to the gear. So the more gear you have, and so I'm trying to go for weapons. They take the longest because those are towards the end. So you got to get all the body pieces first, then you can get maybe weapons and then the jewelry. So I'm going to have to do this dungeon probably about 3 or 4 more times till I start getting some good drops. And that's okay. Practice makes better. And it gives me a chance to tank and get my skills up. So as you see, I make a few mistakes here, but we're doing okay, and we get through it. And you got to be cognizant of all these levers. You won't go forward unless you find the levers to pull. Not a tough dungeon, really. Like I said, veteran and hard mode is going to be a little more difficult. I don't think we're ready for that at this point, but yeah, it's a great time in here, and we're enjoying ourselves. And as you can see, we're taking some extra time scoping it out because, like I said, I haven't been in here much at all. And with just us, we're just very thorough, because there's a lot of little books and gold and stuff like that, materials you can just pick up. And there's a lot in these dungeons that people just oversee because everybody wants a speed run, and you miss a lot of stuff. So when it's just us, we're just thorough. We take our time. All right, this is kind of the walk towards the next boss. We're going to get a bunch of trash pulls. These harvesters can be nasty, and there's a lot of ranged in here, so you'll see that I'll probably run out of some magicka because there's just a lot of ranged. This one's not too bad, but you'll get that all-seeing eye looking thing. See, there's one way over there that I just totally didn't see. I'm trying to get it, but the goal of the tank is not to get everything. You just can't, especially in these big trash pulls. You just can't get them all, but do the best you can. The more you get in their AoE circle, the better it is for the whole group. And here's these all-seeing eye looking things. They're trouble. Because if you don't pay attention, they do that whole port thing. You think you're going to, it's going to go down. Boom, look at that. They're spawned mobs right there. It's just kind of like, what? So, still getting used to that. But the big thing is just to try to, for tanking, just try to taunt the best you can. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay, because that's how I learn. And each time we do this, we get better. But yeah, it's really kind of a fun dungeon. Really enjoying it. And we don't hit all the places. There's some areas we can just kind of skirt by because you don't need to kill everything. If not, it'll take a long time for this dungeon. So you'll see we'll kind of turn and not get the mobs to the right. Yep, we'll just kind of cut through here. Boop. Keep working on trash. There's a bunch of trash. This one gets a little sloppy because there's a bunch of range. See back there? I really try my hardest. That one's behind it like an ice shield, so it can't get it until the shield goes down. But I got the majority of them here, so pretty decent grouping. And your group, if your group has decent DPS, you're okay to let a few run loose. So that's their job, is to kind of mow them down. Your job is the heavy hitters. You want to stay focused on and keep them, turn it away from your group as best as possible. They're going to get by you though. Just do the best you can. Interrupt the casters if you can. It's a lot to pay attention to, but it's so fun. Kid you not. It's so enjoyable. I look back to make sure I didn't miss any mobs. More trash pull. This is a kind of a big trash pull, but they're all scattered. So chains. Try to pull in as many as I can. Health drops down there really low, but I pull through it. There's a lot of techniques for tanking where you can, hit the old crap button on there and, give you some burst health and shielding and whatnot. So I'm still learning again, but yeah, we're getting there, getting through it. It is a fun journey. Those harvesters, they can be nasty. That right there, when they grab you and hold you in the air, oof. It's like a stun. Let's go back and loot. Take your time in these things, man. Just enjoy yourself. I'm showing you the full run here. A lot of people just cut it out and just do the fights, and that's fine. Not everybody wants to watch this, so again, that's the miracle of fast forwarding and skimming through videos. That's totally cool. I respect it. It's probably kind of boring for some people, but I'm going to show you all of it. Let's show you my mistakes. So mobs spawn back there. When I engage that eyeball right there to the right, there's going to be mobs that spawn in there. A lot of people miss that and they sneak up behind you and they'll get you. So watch, I'll pull back. I'll look down there. See that? I see him. Those guys will creep up behind you and will try to one-shot you in the back, and that's not good. So I try to bring them in. You notice I don't have like taunt on everybody. A lot of times when you create the first taunt, a lot of them will run to you anyways. But or I'll throw down like the talons, which basically is it's kind of a AOE shackle or chains, for lack of better words. It's a great little Dragon Knight skill. We're slowly heading towards another boss. Checking the bookshelves, because you tell you what, you can find books give you like skill ups in the Mages Guild, and there's a lot to learn in this game, but you just take it in small little steps, because it can be overwhelming. So a lot of people just focus merely on crafting, creating food and selling stuff and making money on that and farming stuff. I like to do the dungeons, group events, helping out. I like group activities. I'm looking forward to doing some trials once I get geared up. That's what we're doing for each other right now. We're just trying to get each other's gear. We got her gear going. Still some more, some other dungeons we'll be doing. But right now, we're focused on getting some tanking gear for me. So the stronger we are as a team, the better. So we should be heading eventually to another boss. It's going to be that Flesh Abomination, and that's going to be an interesting one. The mechanics are crazy. That was a slight AFK. I think I had a phone call. Going for the bookshelves again. Alright, so this is this one right here. This one can be a bugger right here. This guy right here will knock you back. The goal is the DPS needs to kill the mobs in the four corners here. I need to stay as a tank. So yeah, that just pushes you back. If you get in that poison, it'll kill you fast. It'll eat away your hit points. So this guy, you just got to keep a taunt on this thing. She's running around and killing the mobs in the four corners, and then once that does, you'll spawn some ads, do a pushback. There's that AoE. There's that kick. See how that just ate some health right there? It's really a straightforward fight, but those mobs have to die. If they don't die, it's hard to kill the boss. It just makes it tougher. He gets a little weaker when you bring out those other mobs. See, it looks like there's still a Necromancer up there. I see 100% health. We should have probably gotten that one, but that's okay. We'll probably end up killing. You're going to kill the boss, and then we're going to have to kill him. But normally you would get that. See, he's still up. And then she goes like, "Oops, got this one." So yeah, that's really the focus. Your group focuses the ads, and the tank just holds the boss as best as possible. He's got a nasty AoE knockback. There we got another piece, which is awesome. It's a scathing mage. I don't want that one, but I'll still lock it down anyways. But she got me the leeching, which is great. Tell you what, that's good gear. I encourage you to go for it if you're going to tank. So I'm binding it, so it'll stay in my sticker book. And there's that sludge. It'll just jumping into it. You see your hit points drop. Boink. Yeah, so that's potent. Then we're going to go through some trash mobs here. Throw down a ice staff, wall of elements. There's a 50% slow on the mobs as they come in, so that helps. It gives you a damage shield around you. You see that little ice shield around us? So I like to lead off with that most times when I tank. Yep. Continue on. Got a few more. We're taking some pork. You see what I'm saying? You got to loot the stuff up. Free materials. Take it. We'll come through here and we'll get some horvers, those little bugs. Those are some mechanics that you're going to see as well. It's kind of that's kind of a clue in on what's coming up ahead. Those things will explode and they put poison. Those things are nasty. But yeah, it's not too tough on the mobs, you know, trash pulls before the boss, but the bosses. But you got to pay attention to them because they can do damage. So you always go for the harvester. Choose the big one and try to taunt these casters. These guys will come because they want to help. So they can join in the burn. Here we go. Yep, the harvester's down. Not too difficult. It's actually kind of fun. Got a couple more little trash pulls. They're gonna be like kind of a boss. We call it a mini boss. These right here are not. These are the trash pull. There's those horvers again. Keep an eye on those. You'll see those in the next fight. Harvester down. So we get her down. Go back and loot. Don't want to miss anything. And this is the next boss here, and this is going to be the Flesh Abomination. He's a big mob. He hits like a friggin' freight train. The best thing to do is you need to really tank him on the edge there. You want to give as much room. See those horvers? they drop poison everywhere, and that's not good when they blow up. So you want to try to give room for your group to do their stuff. So try to keep his attention the whole time. He hits really hard. I mean hard. So you want to really keep an eye on him. And you get the you got to really worry about those little horvers. Those things are a pain in the butt. But he's not tough. It's really the horvers, and you just got to kind of just keep an eye on him. He sticks his arms in the ground. He's going to do a big old slam here. I just try to keep a taunt on him. We're about ready to burn him down because that's we're down to is 6%, and he'll drop, and everything else will die. But the tank's job is to keep an eye on this guy. The horvers, your groups, that's your primary focus. You just bind everything you get. And I think she might have had another piece. I'm not really sure. Yep, she got the leeching pants there. Sturdy, not bad. So she's getting all the gear. She's the lucky charm. And then we push on. Gotta look at the bookshelves. So you get the skill ups there. Just by reading books. Who would have thunk? Reading books in a dungeon. Alright, so now we got some trash pulls here. We're going to have to crouch down here. The best thing you do is just go into a crouch position, and then you can see those traps, and you can disarm the traps. And so the more you disarm, the less pain you have as far as fighting these trash mobs here. So I try to sneak in. One of them I kind of get real close here. Go, almost done. She's already knocking those out. What I do here is I taunt the guy on the left, bring it to the guy in the by the gate there, and try to bring the rest of the trash as best I can. But those are the two heavy hitters in this room. So I'll taunt, I'll run, and I'll bring it to the caster in the middle. And grab this Abomination here. I try to bring all that stuff here so that her AoE will do its work. Now, yeah, they do get away eventually, but like I said, you can't get everything. It's just tough to do that. But the big heavy hitters, that's your job. You need to keep on them. When you're able to, go for the rest. But the smaller ones aren't too much of a headache. Your DPS, your group can pretty much handle those. Not really an issue. Then we pull the first leveler. And we go. Rinse and repeat. Go in the next room. Disarm the traps. And once those are disarmed, as much as you can, because you want to have some dancing room in here, because those things will chase you all over the place, and you don't want to be running through the spikes. That one I couldn't get for some reason. They kept seeing me, but so I'm like, I tried a couple, 3 or 4 times, and she says, "Hey, she's got a better sneak. She probably got higher skill up on the sneak." So I think she comes in alongside me, says, "I got this." I think she'll show up here in a second. And she knocks it out, which is awesome. That allows me to get up to get those Atronachs. And then I'll range taunt that and pull that over to the gate best I can. Yep, bring the party to the AoE. That's pretty much it. Chain that one in. Here we go. Now you got to time the levers. We just kind of count down. We just do a 3, 2, 1 pull. And then, yep, the first room had 1 lever. This one you have to coordinate with someone else. So if you're by yourself, it ain't gonna happen. So we just kind of disarm the traps, rinse, repeat. Mobs get a little tougher in here. It's each one of the Lord Wardens. This one's got the Templar in there. I got a little close. You hear like that drum beating when you get close, kind of aggro, and you hear that boom, 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 and then you know that you're like about to get some aggro on. Let her do one more over there close by, and then I'm gonna start. I'm gonna taunt and I'm gonna pull. Let her get close here. Always trying to. Your job is to buff and debuff, buff the group, debuff the mobs, and cold taunt. Casters are a little tougher, so sometimes you got to range pull them and they'll come in. But see, they'll sit back there and cast. Big thing is as long as you got their taunt, got their attention, that's the big thing. And I get thrown around like a like a wet paper bag sometimes, you know. Trying to stand stupid. Sometimes when you're bar swapping, you get smacked with a heavy attack and it's like, whoa. There we go, got aggro back. So, yeah. I'm still learning the tank role. You'll see lots of mistakes here, but yeah. I'm not too shy to share. And I always welcome feedback. That's how we learn. Oh, that fire breath is brutal. You don't block that, and they do this running charge too. This one right here, this guy, he's tough. He's the big guy. I was like, is this guy ever gonna die? He finally does. Miracle of time. It does happen. Same thing. One on each lever. We just do a 3, 2, 1, and pull. Boop. And sometimes you're out of sync. That gate won't open, so you have to do it again. But we try to coordinate it really, really well. Now we're getting towards the last boss here. And that's the Lord Warden himself, Lord Warden Dusk. And he can be... It's really one of my most favorite fight in the whole game. It's mechanic heavy, but if you know it and pay attention, you can totally get through it. I'll discuss the best I can. We tried this once and we died a couple times because it was like, what is going on here? So we're gonna go in here. I'm gonna step in here. I'm gonna get to the middle. He's gonna jump down, and it's the Lord Warden himself. He's got some interesting mechanics. Okay, so the big thing here is avoid the blue air bubble. He's gonna spawn these blue bubbles or purple bubbles, and if you get close, they drain your health and magic and stuff like that. So you want to get out of that, roll dodge out of it. They'll stick to you like glue. So you got to worry about those. And there's a lot of mechanics happening. He'll spawn like 4. So I'll get the taunt. You'll see these blue orbs come out, and you'll see it attached to me. And what it does, see those orbs? Get the heck away. See, they'll like attach to you, and they'll start draining health and magicka. And there's these big two things on the ground right there. You see those big circular auras? There'll be 2 of them. Now, there's only 2 of us. You have to split up your group. It only has 2 lives, so since there's only 2 of us, we both can't jump into the same portal, or we're going to die. So we have to split up. He'll raise himself in the air, he'll flap his wings, and then we're supposed to jump in the portal. And we take some damage on this stuff. And you rinse and repeat. Then what he's going to do, he'll disappear. He'll spawn like 4 ads on each of the corners, and I have to keep taunt on those ads. So okay, there's the ads. I got to keep taunt so I keep my partner from getting hit. So I take all the damage, and she got to go to each one and kill it. So only one of it at a time can take a hit. So you have to find the one that the hit points drop, and you focus on that one. Then go to the next one, rinse, repeat. And once all those are gone, he'll spawn again, and we rinse and we repeat. See, I got to get his taunt back. Here we go. There's the first portal. We don't jump in this portal here because he's going to spawn a second one. When he goes up in the sky like that, we got to jump into a portal. We coordinate. I said, I'm taking the left one. We go in together. She goes in hers. I go in mine. If you have 4 people in your group, 2 goes into one, 2 goes in the other one. You cannot all go into the same one. If a single person goes to one of them by accident, you just took someone's life when it's time to actually jump in. So you got to really coordinate this with your group. Tank keeps a taunt on the boss, the Lord Warden, and boom, Bob's your uncle. And that, my friends, is the Imperial City Prison. Kill the Warden, go collect the chest. And in the chest, you know, you get some decent items here. He's the last boss. So this one, I believe I got a ring. Here it is. I got the ring of leeching. That's what I'm here for. The jewelry, the weapon, the shield, and stuff like that. So I know it's a little lengthy. Did a lot of talking. I probably could have cut out a lot of stuff and just gave you right to the point. But that's the full dungeon. Enjoy yourself. Hang out with your friends. If you're ever on Elder Scrolls, shoot me a message. I'll hang out with you. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. And enjoy stuff like this. Give me a like if you want to see more. Definitely subscribe. Love to have you on the channel. I really appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Take care, everyone. Peace. What the fuck is going on here?